My alien classmate walked in and froze at the sight of my human armor. The classroom was quiet except for the soft hum of the air circulator and the occasional rustle of notes. Lisa sat by the window, her fingers tracing the edge of her notebook. She kept her head down, trying not to draw attention. Being one of the few humans at the Interstellar Academy of Xenocultural Studies was hard enough without standing out. She wore her academy jacket zipped all the way up, hiding what was underneath. Then the door slid open. Everyone turned. Zara entered. She was tall, with smooth violet skin that caught the light like polished stone. Her golden eyes scanned the room slowly, her two slender antennae twitching as she moved. She wore the standard gray academy tunic, but on her it looked elegant, almost royal. Zara was Cathari, a species known for their intelligence, grace, and deep wounds from the last human war. Most Cathari still hated humans. Lisa knew that. Zara's gaze swept past the insect-like Vrick students, the gelatinous gloobs from Neptune's moons, the feathered avians from Sirius C, until it landed on Lisa, and stopped. Her antennae stiffened. Her breath caught. For a long moment, she did not move. The room fell silent. Lisa's stomach twisted. She knew why. Beneath her jacket, she still wore her old human combat undersuit. It was dark gray, form-fitting, with light armor panels on the shoulders and ribs. It had no symbols, no rank, no markings. But to a Cathari, it didn't matter. They recognized human armor the way Earthlings recognize thunder. Zara stepped forward, her voice low and sharp. "You," Lisa stood slowly. "Hi, Zara. You are wearing battle gear," Zara said, her golden eyes narrowing. "In a place of peace. Among those who remember the fire you brought to our world." Lisa kept her voice calm. "It's not what you think, isn't it?" Zara's voice rose slightly. "Your people bombed our nursery moons. You called it unavoidable loss. You wore suits like that while doing it." Lisa's hands trembled, but she didn't look away. "I wasn't there. I was 6 when the war ended. Then why wear it?" Zara demanded. "To remind us? To show your strength?" Lisa unzipped her jacket and let it fall to the floor. The undersuit gleamed faintly under the lights, scuffed, worn, but intact. "Because this saved my life," she said quietly, "on Earth. After the treaty. Riots broke out. My parents, they didn't make it. I was hiding in our basement when the mob came. This suit, my dad's old reserve gear, was all I had. It stopped knives. It blocked fire." Zara stared. Her antennae drooped a little. "I wear it," Lisa continued, "not to honor war, but to remember that peace can break. And sometimes armor isn't for fighting. It's for surviving." Silence filled the room. Even Professor Vlok, a 4-armed mollusk from the outer rings, paused his lecture prep and turned his eye stalks toward them. Zara took a slow step closer. "You expect me to believe a human wears armor out of fear, not pride?" "I don't expect anything," Lisa said. "But it's the truth." Zara studied her face, the freckles, the tired eyes, the way her hands stayed open, not clenched. Then she touched the small silver pendant at her throat, a Cathari mourning token. "My little sister wore a glow band on her wrist," she said softly. It lit up when she laughed. "Your bombs turned it to dust before it cooled." Lisa's throat tightened. "I'm sorry." "Sorry does not rebuild cradles," Zara said, but her voice had lost its edge. "Yet you do not look like the soldiers in the war hollows. You look small." "I am small," Lisa admitted, "but I'm here. Trying." Zara exhaled through her gills, a Cathari sign of reluctant understanding. "Trying is not enough, but it is a beginning." She turned and walked to her seat. The tension in the room eased. Lisa picked up her jacket, folded it, and sat back down. She didn't put it on again. For days, Zara avoided her. She sat far away at meals, walked faster in the halls, and never looked Lisa's way during class. Lisa didn't push. She studied, helped younger students, and kept her undersuit hidden under loose tunics. Then the solar storm hit. Proxima Centauri B's magnetic field collapsed without warning. Alarms blared across campus. Red lights flashed. Students were ordered to the underground shelters. But the main lift failed. Lisa was guiding 3 small flufflings from Zeta Reticuli when the power cut out. Smoke poured from a broken conduit. The hallway grew hot and thick with fumes. "This way," Lisa said, leading them toward the old maintenance stairs. She knew every exit. Old habits from childhood never left. Halfway down, they heard cries. Zara was trapped. A twisted metal beam pinned her leg against the wall. Her violet skin was smudged with soot. One antenna bent. She clutched her satchel tightly. Inside were her research notes on empathy between species. Go, Zara said when she saw them. Save the flufflings. Leave me, Lisa shook her head. No. She knelt, examined the beam, carbon fiber half melted, and braced her shoulder against it. On 3, push with me, Zara frowned. You'll hurt yourself. Maybe, Lisa said. But I've got armor under this shirt, and you've got work that matters. Zara hesitated, then placed her palms on the beam. 1, 2, 3. They pushed. Metal screamed. Sparks flew. The beam shifted just enough. Zara pulled her leg free with a sharp gasp, blood dripping from a deep cut. Lisa helped her up, slung Zara's arm over her shoulder, and guided the flufflings down the rest of the stairs. In the shelter, medics rushed to them. Zara was treated quickly. Cathari healed fast. But she refused to rest until she found Lisa. She found her sitting alone in a corner, wiping ash from her face. Why did you help me? Zara asked, limping over. Lisa looked up. Because you're my classmate. I called you a warmonger. And I thought your people were too proud to listen, Lisa said with a small smile. We were both wrong. Zara sat beside her, wincing. Your armor. It really is just for protection. Just that, Lisa said. Though today it helped lift a beam. Zara reached into her satchel and pulled out a smooth blue stone with silver veins. This is a Cathari trust token, she said. We only give it to those who prove their heart is not made of steel. She placed it in Lisa's hand. It was warm. Lisa closed her fingers around it. Thank you. Do not thank me yet, Zara said, a hint of her old fire returning. I still think your species is reckless, too loud, too quick to fight. And I still think your people hold on to pain too long, Lisa replied. They looked at each other. Then slowly, both smiled. In the weeks that followed, something changed. Zara began sitting near Lisa at meals. They debated ethics in xenolaw, shared notes on interspecies communication, and once, during a late-night study session, Zara admitted she'd never tasted chocolate, so Lisa smuggled a bar from the human supply closet. It's strange, Zara said, licking melted brown from her fingers. Sweet and bitter at once. Kind of like peace, Lisa said. Zara nodded. Yes, exactly like that. By semester's end, their joint paper, Armor and Empathy, Redefining Defense in Post-War Species, won the Academy's top honor. Professor Vlock clapped with all 4 hands. On graduation day, Lisa wore her undersuit beneath her ceremonial robe. Zara wore her silver sash, and the blue trust stone now hung on a cord around her neck. As they stood together on the viewing platform, watching the twin moons rise over the Academy spires, Zara spoke softly. When I first saw you in that armor, I saw only the past. And now? Lisa asked. Zara turned to her, golden eyes reflecting the starlight. Now I see a friend, Lisa smiled. Good. Because I see one too. And in that moment, beneath alien skies, 2 former enemies stood side by side, not as human and Cathari, but as Lisa and Zara. 2 girls who chose to believe that even the deepest wounds could heal, if someone was brave enough to reach across the rubble and lift a beam. After graduation, Lisa and Zara were assigned to the same diplomatic outpost on the edge of neutral space. It was a small station called Haven 7, floating between human and Cathari territories. The air smelled of recycled oxygen and old metal. The walls hummed with the quiet pulse of life support. It was not glamorous, but it was peaceful, mostly. Lisa wore her undersuit every day, now openly without a jacket. No one questioned it. Zara walked beside her through the corridors, her violet skin glowing faintly under the soft lights. They shared a quarters module, ate meals together, and reviewed reports on border tensions. They were no longer just classmates. They were partners, but peace never lasts long. One morning, an alert flashed across every screen on the station. A human freighter had gone dark near the Cathari patrol zone. Then a Cathari scout ship vanished in the same sector. Both sides blamed the other. Messages grew sharp. Fleets began to move. Captain Ellis, the human officer in charge of Haven 7, called them into his office. His face was tight with worry. We need someone neutral to investigate, he said. Someone both sides might listen to. That's you two. Zara crossed her arms. You ask a Cathari and a human to walk into a war zone and call it neutrality? Not neutrality, Ellis said. Trust, you've built something rare. Use it. They left that night in a small shuttle, the starlight cold and endless outside the viewport. Lisa piloted. Zara monitored comms. Silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken fear. "Do you think it's a trap?" Lisa asked finally. "Probably," Zara said. "But if we do not go, the shooting starts. And this time there will be no treaties. Only ashes." They found the human freighter first. It drifted dark and broken. Hull breaches gaped like wounds. No signs of weapons fire. No escape pods launched. It was as if the crew had simply vanished. Then they spotted the Cathari scout ship nearby. Also dead. Also empty. "This is not human work," Zara whispered, scanning the hull. "And not Cathari either," Lisa frowned. "Then who?" Before Zara could answer, alarms blared. Something was coming. A ship dropped out of warp, sleek black with no markings. It fired without warning. Their shuttle shuddered. Lights flickered. Oxygen hissed from a new tear in the hull. "Brace!" Lisa yelled, yanking the controls. They barely escaped, diving into the shadow of a nearby asteroid. The black ship circled, scanning, hunting. In the dim red emergency light, Zara pulled out her datapad. "I found something." Both ships sent the same encrypted burst before going silent. It wasn't military code. It was a distress call. In Old Earth dialect, Lisa's blood ran cold. My grandfather used that dialect. It's nearly extinct. They traced the signal's origin to a derelict mining station deep in the belt. It hadn't been active in decades. Officially, it didn't exist. "It's a trap," Zara said again. "Maybe," Lisa said, "but it's also the only lead." They docked in silence. The station groaned with age, metal creaking like bones. Gravity was weak. Dust floated in the beams of their helmet lights. They moved slowly, weapons ready. Lisa with a stun pistol, Zara with a sonic disruptor. Deep inside, they found the truth. The missing crews were there, alive, but changed. Their eyes were blank. Their movements stiff. Wires snaked from their necks into a central machine humming in the center of the room. It pulsed with a sickly green light, and standing beside it was Dr. Helen Croft. Lisa froze. "Dr. Croft? You're listed as dead. You disappeared during the war." Helen smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. She was human, once a top scientist for the Alliance. Now she wore a black uniform with no insignia. "I didn't die, Lisa. I evolved." "You're controlling them," Zara said, voice tight with horror. "I'm perfecting them," Helen corrected. "No more war. No more hate. Just order. Peace through unity of mind." "That's not peace," Lisa said. "That's slavery," Helen sighed. "You still think with your heart. Humans and Cathari will never coexist. I've seen the data. The only solution is to remove choice. Remove fear. Remove the self." She pressed a button. The controlled crews turned as one, eyes glowing green. They advanced. "Run!" Lisa shouted. They sprinted through the twisting corridors, the mindless crew close behind. Zara fired her disruptor, knocking two down, but more came. Lisa's armor absorbed a blow. From a wrench swung by a former human engineer, her old neighbor from Earth Colony, Gamma, they reached the shuttle bay just as the black ship reappeared outside. "We can't take off with that thing." "Watching," Zara panted. Lisa looked at her undersuit, then at the central core of the station visible through a cracked viewport. "We don't need to outrun it. We need to bury it." She explained her plan fast. Zara's eyes widened. "It's insane. It's all we've got." While Zara created a diversion, firing at the station's power relays to draw the black ship closer, Lisa ran back inside. She planted emergency charges along the main support beams near the core. Her armor protected her from falling debris, but the heat was unbearable. Helen appeared on a screen above her. "You don't understand. I'm saving everyone." "You're erasing them," Lisa said, setting the last charge. "And that's not saving. That's killing what makes us alive." She ran. The charges detonated as she leaped into the shuttle. The station cracked apart, metal screaming. The black ship, caught in the blast wave, spun out of control and vanished into the asteroid field. The controlled crews collapsed as the machine died. Some woke up confused, crying, holding their heads. Others didn't wake at all. Back at Haven 7, the truth spread fast. Helen Croft's rogue faction, calling themselves the Silent Chorus, was exposed. Both human and Cathari high commands issued joint orders to hunt them down. For the first time in years, the two species shared a common enemy. Captain Ellis shook Lisa's hand. "You two just stopped a war before it began." Zara stood beside her, arms crossed, but her expression was soft. "We did nothing special. We just chose to listen. That night, they sat on the observation deck watching stars blink in the dark. Do you think she really believed she was helping? Lisa asked. Maybe, Zara said. But good intentions do not excuse stolen minds. Lisa nodded. My dad used to say that freedom is messy, but it's ours to keep messy. Zara smiled faintly. Your species says strange things, but sometimes they are wise. A message came in the next morning. The Cathari Council invited Zara to speak at the Unity Summit. The Human Senate asked Lisa to represent young diplomats. They would go together. As they packed, Zara held up the blue trust stone. I almost lost this during the chase. Lisa touched her own undersuit. And I almost lost this too. Again, they looked at each other. We keep surviving, Zara said. Together, Lisa added, on the transport ship to the summit, they sat side by side. No armor hidden, no words needed. Outside, the stars burned steady and bright. The silent chorus was still out there. The old wounds between species hadn't fully healed. But in that small ship, carrying two young women from warring worlds, something new was growing. Not just peace, not just trust, but friendship. Forged in fire, tested in silence, and chosen again and again, even when the universe tried to pull them apart. And that, more than any treaty or weapon, was the real human thing. The Unity Summit was held on a neutral moon orbiting a quiet red star. Delegates from over 30 species gathered in a vast dome built of crystal and steel. Banners hung from the ceiling, each bearing the symbol of a different world. Humans and Cathari sat on opposite sides of the main hall, their leaders stiff and silent. Old wounds still bled beneath formal robes and polite words. Lisa and Zara walked in together. Whispers followed them. Some were curious. Some were angry. A human delegate scowled. A Cathari elder turned his back. But they kept walking side by side until they reached the central platform. They were not there to speak for their governments. They were there to speak for each other. Lisa stepped forward first. She wore her undersuit clean and unmarked, no longer hidden. I am human, she said, her voice clear. And I once believed my people were the only ones who suffered. But pain does not belong to one species. It belongs to all who lose someone. I wear this armor not to fight, but to remember that survival is not victory. Peace is. Then Zara spoke. I am Cathari. I was taught that humans are loud, reckless, and cruel, and some are. But so are some of us. Lisa did not choose war. She chose to help me when I was trapped. She chose truth over pride. That is not weakness. That is strength most of us forget. Silence filled the dome. Then slowly a gloob delegate clapped with its gelatinous limbs. Avrix tapped its claws. Soon the whole room hummed with approval. Not loud, but real. After the speech, they were pulled into meetings, interviews, and urgent talks. Both human and Cathari command wanted their report on the silent chorus. New sightings had emerged. Mind-controlled outposts, stolen ships, whispers of a hidden base near the Void Rim. But something felt wrong. The intel was too clean. The trails too easy to follow. It was as if the silent chorus wanted to be found. It's a lure, Zara said one night in their shared quarters. She paced, her antennae twitching. They want us to lead a strike force right into their trap. Lisa sat on the edge of her bunk, cleaning her stun pistol. Or they want the two of us specifically. Why? Because we're symbols now, Lisa said. Human and Cathari working together. If they break us, they break the hope. Zara stopped pacing. Then we do not go with the fleet. We go alone. 2 days later, they vanished from the summit. No records, no logs. Just 2 empty rooms and a single message left for Captain Ellis. Trust us. They took a small scout ship, old and unmarked, and flew toward the Void Rim, a stretch of space so empty, even pirates avoided it. Stars were scarce, comms faded, time felt thin. On the 3rd day, they found it. A station hung in the dark, shaped like a twisted spiral. No lights, no signals, but energy readings spiked off the charts. This was the heart of the silent chorus. They docked in silence, weapons ready. Inside, the air was cold and still. No crew, no guards, just empty halls and flickering lights. Then they heard it. A soft hum, like 1,000 voices whispering at once. They followed the sound to the core chamber. Dr. Helen Croft stood in the center, but she was changed. Wires coiled around her arms. Her eyes glowed faint green. Behind her, suspended in glowing pods, were hundreds of beings, humans, Cathari, Vrix, gloobs, all connected to a massive neural web pulsing with light. You came, Helen said, her voice layered with echoes. I knew you would. You are the perfect test. What is this? Zara demanded. The next step, Helen replied. Not just control, unity, one mind. No more war. No more lies. Just peace. I'd you call this peace? Lisa stepped forward. You stole their thoughts. Their dreams. Their names. Names are noise, Helen said. I give them silence. And in silence there is safety. She raised her hand. The walls shifted. Panels opened. Drones emerged, small, black, with needle-thin limbs. They moved fast, surrounding Lisa and Zara. Zara fired her disruptor. One drone fell. Two more took its place. Lisa activated her armor's shield, a thin energy barrier that flared blue. It held for a moment, then cracked under the swarm. They were dragged to the center. Helen approached Lisa first. You wear armor to protect your body, but your mind is still soft, still human. Let me fix that. She reached for Lisa's temple, but Zara lunged. With a cry, she threw herself between them, knocking Helen back. The drones turned on her. Needles pierced her violet skin. She gasped, her golden eyes wide. Zara! Lisa screamed. Run! Zara whispered, blood trickling from her mouth. Don't let her take you. Lisa's heart pounded. She saw no escape. No weapon strong enough. But then she remembered something. Her undersuit had one last function, one her father had installed in secret. A pulse emitter, meant to disrupt neural tech. Never tested. She triggered it. A shockwave burst from her chest. Silent, invisible, but powerful. The drones froze. The pods flickered. Helen staggered, clutching her head as the neural web sputtered. The connection broke. One by one, the pods opened. Beings tumbled out, dazed but free. The station groaned, systems failing. Lisa ran to Zara. She was pale, her breathing shallow. Stay with me, Lisa begged. Zara smiled weakly. You? Always cause trouble. Only when you're not looking. They dragged each other to the ship, helping freed prisoners as they went. Behind them, the station collapsed in on itself, swallowed by its own failing gravity. Back at Haven 7, medics worked on Zara for hours. She survived, but the neural poison left scars. Her left antenna would never move again, and sometimes her hands trembled. Lisa never left her side. When Zara woke, the first thing she said was, "Did we win?" Lisa handed her a cup of warm Cathari tea. We gave them a chance to choose. That's all we can ever do. Weeks passed. The silent chorus scattered, their network broken. Peace talks resumed, slower this time, but real. Lisa and Zara were offered high positions. Ambassador roles, command posts, honors. They said no. Instead, they asked for something else. A small ship. Basic supplies. Clearance to travel the border worlds. Why? Captain Ellis asked. Because treaties are signed in halls, Lisa said. But trust is built in villages, in schools, in shared meals. We want to go where the fear is strongest and show them it doesn't have to be. Zara nodded. We are not soldiers. We are not politicians. We are just two people who chose to see each other. Their first stop was a human mining colony that had refused Cathari aid after an earthquake. The locals glared as their ship landed. Children threw stones. Lisa walked out alone, hands open. Zara followed slowly, leaning on a cane. They didn't speak at first. They just helped, clearing rubble, sharing water, fixing broken generators. Day after day. On the fifth night, an old miner brought them soup. My son died in the war, he muttered. But you don't look like the enemy. Zara looked at him. My sister died too. But I do not blame your daughter for it, the man nodded. That night he invited them inside. Word spread. On their next stop, a Cathari farming moon, they found humans turned away at the gate. Lisa and Zara stood with them, waiting in the rain until the elders relented. They did not change the galaxy in a day, but they changed one heart at a time. Years later, stories were told of the two women who traveled the stars in a battered ship, wearing no uniforms, carrying no weapons, just a blue stone and a gray undersuit. They were called many things: fools, dreamers, traitors, heroes, but to each other they were simply friends. And in a universe still learning how to heal, that was enough. Their ship, the Wayfarer, drifted through a quiet sector near the outer rim. It was old, patched with mismatched metal, and ran on recycled fuel, but it flew true. Lisa sat in the pilot's seat, eyes on the star map. Zara rested in the co-pilot chair, her left hand wrapped around a warm mug of herbal tea. Her damaged antenna twitched slightly as she scanned a distress signal blinking on the comm screen. Another one, Zara said. Third this month, Lisa replied. Always the same pattern. Weak signal. No origin code. Just a loop of static and a child's voice saying help. They had followed similar signals before. Some led to real emergencies. Stranded miners, broken down transports, lost explorers. Others were traps set by raiders or old enemies testing their resolve. But they never ignored a call. This one came from a dead moon orbiting a collapsed star. No colony, no mining rights. No reason for anyone to be there. It feels wrong, Zara murmured. Then we go careful, Lisa said. They landed in a dust-covered crater. The air was thin, the gravity light. Their boots crunched on gray rock as they moved toward the signal source. A half-buried hatch rusted shut. Lisa used her armor's strength to pry it open. Stale air hissed out. Below, they found a bunker. Inside, the walls were lined with old human tech. Screens, wires, cryopods. Most were broken, but one pod glowed faintly. Inside was a girl. She looked about 10, human with messy brown hair and freckles like Lisa's. She wore a simple gray jumpsuit. Her eyes were closed. Her chest rose and fell slowly. She's alive, Lisa whispered. Zara checked the pod's display. Frozen for over 20 years. Emergency stasis. Triggered during the last days of the war. Lisa's breath caught. That's impossible. The war ended 22 years ago. They woke the girl gently. Her eyes fluttered open. Big, scared, and full of questions. She didn't speak at first. Just stared at Lisa, then at Zara, then at the strange walls around her. What's your name? Lisa asked softly. Maya, the girl finally said. Her voice was small. Where's my mom? Lisa and Zara exchanged a look. The pod log showed no other survivors. The bunker had been a last resort shelter for civilians during the final bombardment. Maya's mother had activated the stasis, then stayed outside to guard the hatch. Her bones were found just a few meters away. Lisa knelt. Your mom. She saved you. She made sure you lived. Maya's eyes filled with tears. She didn't cry. Just nodded like she already knew. They took her aboard the Wayfarer. Maya stayed quiet for days watching the stars through the viewport, clutching a small toy bear she'd kept in her pod. Lisa gave her spare clothes. Zara taught her how to brew tea. Slowly, Maya began to speak. She remembered fire in the sky, running through smoke. Her mother's voice saying, "Be brave, little star." She also remembered something else. The quiet man came before the bombs, she said one night. He wore black. He said he could stop the war. Mom said no. She said peace can't be given, it has to be chosen. Lisa froze. The quiet man? Maya nodded. He had green eyes. Like the lights in my dream. Zara's antennae stiffened. Helen Croft's followers called her the quiet voice. But before her, there was someone else. A man who vanished during the war. Dr. Eris Thorne. He believed in forced unity, too. He's still out there, Lisa said. Maya looked at her. He's looking for me. Why? Because I saw him, Maya whispered. And because I'm not just human. Zara scanned her with a medical tricorder. The readings were strange. Maya's cells showed traces of Cathari DNA, faint but real. Her mother had been part of a secret program. A failed attempt at cross-species bonding before the war turned violent. Maya was the only child who survived the process. That's why your mom hid you here, Lisa realized. Not just from bombs. From people who would use you as a weapon or a symbol. Days turned into weeks. Maya learned fast. She fixed the ship's comms array with tools twice her size. She drew maps of stars no one had named yet, and she never once asked to go back to Earth. One evening, as the Wayfarer passed through a nebula of purple gas, Maya sat between Lisa and Zara. Are you my family now? She asked. Lisa looked at Zara. Zara looked at Lisa. If you'll have us, Lisa said. Maya smiled. I will. But peace never lasts. A month later, a fleet appeared on their sensors. Not human. Not Cathari. Black ships, sleek and silent, the same design as Helen Croft's. But these bore a new symbol. A circle with a single eye. The quiet man's mark. They sent a message. Return the hybrid, or we burn your ship. Lisa powered up the engines. We're not giving her up. Zara checked their weapons. We cannot win a fight. Then we don't fight, Lisa said. We run! They dove into a nearby asteroid field, weaving through jagged rocks. The black ships followed, relentless. Lasers scorched the hull. Alarms blared. Maya stayed calm. There's a rift ahead, she said, pointing to a sensor reading. Gravity tear unstable, but if we time it right. You want us to fly into a space rip? Lisa asked. It's the only way they won't follow, Maya said. They're too afraid of losing control. Zara studied the data. She's right. It's dangerous, but possible. Lisa gripped the controls. Hold on. They shot into the rift, space twisted. Lights bent. The ship groaned. For a moment, everything went white. Then silence. They emerged in unknown space. No stars they recognized. No signals. Just endless dark and a single blue planet below. Where are we? Zara whispered. Maya looked out the window. Home. The planet had no name on any chart, but its atmosphere matched Maya's biology. Its magnetic field hummed in tune with her heartbeat. As they descended, they saw ruins. Ancient, overgrown, but clearly built by a species that once tried to bridge human and Cathari worlds long before the war. This was the origin point of the hybrid program, and the Quiet Man's true target. They landed near a stone temple. Vines covered the walls. Inside, a central chamber held a glowing pool of liquid light. When Maya stepped near it, the light rose to meet her. It's a memory archive, Zara said, reading the old inscriptions. Not data. Living thought. Maya touched the surface. Visions flooded her mind. Scientists, peacemakers, children like her, all trying to build a bridge between species. And then the Quiet Man watching, waiting, twisting their dream into control. He wants to use this place, Maya said, to rewrite every mind in the galaxy. Not one by one, all at once, Lisa understood. If he activates this archive with his tech, it won't just control people. It will erase free will across species. They had to stop him, but they were alone. No fleet, no backup. Just 3 souls on a forgotten world. Maya walked to the center of the chamber. I can shut it down. But I have to stay. No, Lisa said. There's always another way. This is the way, Maya said softly. My mom gave me life. Now I give it back. To protect others. Before they could stop her, she stepped into the pool. Light exploded. The archive sealed itself. The connection broke. Across the galaxy, every silent chorus device powered down forever. On the surface, Lisa and Zara found Maya lying on the stone floor, pale but breathing. The pool was dark now, the temple silent. She lived, but she would never leave this world. The archive had bonded with her. She was its guardian now. They stayed with her for weeks, building a small home near the temple, teaching her to grow food, telling her stories under alien stars. When it was time to go, Maya hugged them both. You'll come back? She asked. Every year, Lisa promised. And I'll bring new tea blends, Zara added. As the wayfarer lifted off, Lisa looked down. Maya stood in the field waving, her small figure glowing in the blue light of her world. Back in known space, news spread fast. The silent chorus collapsed. The Quiet Man vanished. Peace held, not perfectly, but better than before. Lisa and Zara kept traveling. They visited colonies, schools, refugee camps. They told the story of a girl who chose to protect instead of hide. And sometimes, on quiet nights, they would look up at the stars and wonder if somewhere, in a blue world beyond the maps, a little girl was still watching the sky, waiting for her family to return. They were no longer just 2 women from warring worlds. They were mothers of a new kind of hope, and in a universe still learning to heal, that was everything. Years passed. The Wayfarer grew older, its hull scarred by dust storms and laser fire, its engines humming with the memory of 1,000 jumps. Lisa's hair had streaks of gray now. Zara's once vibrant violet skin had softened with age, and her left antenna remained still, a quiet reminder of battles fought and survived. They no longer chased distress calls like they used to. Instead, they followed whispers. Rumors of places where fear still ruled, where old hatred simmered beneath new treaties. Their latest stop was a remote trade hub called Crosspoint 9. It floated between 3 neutral systems, a messy tangle of markets, docking bays, and temporary shelters. Humans, Cathari, Vrix, and others mixed here, but not always peacefully. Walls had been painted with slogans. Some stalls refused service based on species. Tension hung in the air like static before a storm. They came because of a letter. It arrived on an old data chip, slipped into their ship's mail slot while they slept. No name, just coordinates and 3 words. They're erasing us. The message led them to a hidden school beneath the market level. It was run by a human teacher named Claire and a Cathari elder named Torv. They taught children of mixed heritage, Kids with human eyes and Cathari skin tones or Vrix wings and human voices. Children who didn't fit neatly into any one world. The council says we're causing division, Claire explained, her voice tired. They want us to shut down. They say unity means sameness, Torv added. They've started removing records, birth logs, family names. If a child has more than one species in their blood, they're being reclassified. Lisa felt cold. Reclassified how? As errors, Torv said. Mistakes to be corrected? Zara's golden eyes narrowed. They're not erasing data. They're erasing people. That night they met the children. There were 12 of them, ages 6 to 14. One boy, Leo, had freckles like Lisa and antennae like Zara. He showed them his drawing, a ship flying past 2 moons. That's us, he said. Going somewhere no one tells us we don't belong. Lisa's throat tightened. She remembered Maya. They decided to help, not with weapons, not with speeches, but with memory. Lisa and Zara began recording stories, not official histories, real ones. A grandmother's lullaby in Old Cathari, a human father teaching his half-Vrix son to fix an engine, a recipe passed down through 3 species. They stored them in a secure archive, hidden in the school's basement, powered by a small solar core Zara rigged from scrap. If they erase the records, Lisa told the children, we'll keep the truth alive in our voices. But someone noticed 3 nights later. Enforcers from the Unity Compliance Bureau arrived. They wore gray uniforms with no insignia, faces hidden behind smooth masks. They carried data wipers, devices that could delete entire servers in seconds. Step aside, their leader said. This facility is unauthorized. Zara stood in the doorway. This is a school, not a threat. Mixed blood education breeds confusion, the enforcer replied. Confusion breeds conflict. We are preventing war. You're creating it, Lisa said, stepping beside Zara. The enforcers moved to push past them. Then the children appeared. Leo stood in front, small but firm. Behind him, the others held hands. They didn't shout. They didn't fight. They just stood there, silent, watching. The enforcers hesitated. One mask tilted slightly. Move, children, Leo spoke clearly. We are not mistakes. We are us. For a long moment, no one moved. Then, from the crowd behind the enforcers, a human dock worker stepped forward. My niece is in that school, he said. A Cathari merchant joined him. My grandson learns there. Soon, a dozen people stood between the enforcers and the door. The enforcers backed down, but Lisa knew it wasn't over. The next day, a message came through secure channels. Captain Ellis, now retired but still connected, warned them, they're labeling you agitators. Orders are out to detain you on site. Zara looked at Lisa. We could leave. And let them erase these kids? Lisa shook her head. No. Instead, they did something bold. They broadcast the archive not to governments, not to newsnets, but to every personal device in Crosspoint 9. Using an old emergency frequency, they sent out the stories, the lullabies, the recipes, the drawings, the voices of children saying their names, their parents' names, their right to exist. People listened. In the markets, a human trader played a Cathari lullaby for his crying baby. A Vrix mechanic shared a human repair trick with a Cathari apprentice. That night, hundreds gathered outside the school, not to protest but to stand together. The Compliance Bureau never returned. Weeks later, the council reversed its policy. Mixed heritage schools were recognized. Records were restored, not perfectly, not everywhere, but it was a start. As they prepared to leave Crosspoint 9, Leo gave Lisa a small carved stone. For your ship, he said. So you remember us, Zara knelt. You don't need us to remember you. You are the memory now. On the way back to the Wayfarer, Lisa held the stone. We're getting old for this. Zara smiled. Maybe. But the work isn't done. They flew toward the outer rim again, not because they had to, but because someone always needed to hear the truth. Months later, they received a signal from Maya's world, not a distress call. A celebration. She had activated the archive, not to control but to share. Gentle pulses of light, carrying songs and stories from her planet now drifting into nearby systems. Species who had never met were hearing each other's dreams for the first time. Lisa and Zara changed course. When they arrived, Maya was taller, her eyes calm and deep. She stood beside the temple, surrounded by new growth, flowers that glowed at night, trees with silver leaves. She had not been alone. Others had found the planet, wanderers, healers, dreamers. A new community was forming, not of one species, but of many. You came, Maya said. Always, Lisa replied. They stayed for a season, helped build homes, taught the newcomers how to listen, not just speak. Zara planted a garden using seeds from a dozen worlds. Lisa repaired the old comms tower so Maya could send her signals farther. One evening, as the twin suns set, the three of them sat on the temple steps. Do you think we made a difference? Lisa asked. Maya looked at the stars. You showed me I wasn't broken. That's everything. Zara placed a hand on Lisa's shoulder. We did not change the galaxy. We just refused to let it change us. When it was time to go, Maya didn't cry. She handed them a small crystal. It holds a piece of the archive. In case you meet others like me. They hugged her long and hard. Back on the Wayfarer, Lisa placed the crystal in the ship's core. It pulsed softly like a heartbeat. They had no grand titles, no monuments. No history books would name them heroes. But in villages, in schools, in quiet corners of the stars, people told stories of two women who wore no uniforms, carried no flags, and believed that every life, no matter how mixed, how strange, how small, deserved to be seen. And as the ship vanished into the starlight, heading toward the next whisper, the next hope, the next child waiting to be told, you belong, the universe felt a little less lonely, because somewhere out there Lisa and Zara were still flying, still listening, still choosing each other again and again, in a galaxy that kept trying to divide them. And that, more than any war or treaty, was the true human thing and the true Cathari thing, and the true thing of every species that dares to love across the lines. They were home, not in a place, but in each other, and that was enough.